What if someone asks you a question in English and your mind suddenly goes blank? Not because you do not understand, not because you have no idea, but because your answer is still somewhere in your head and it just needs a second to come out.
Yes, you understand the question, you want to answer, but suddenly the silence feels very loud. And you think, say something, say anything, just do not sit there in silence.
So today, we're going to make that easier.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Speak English with Sam and Lily.
This is the place where we help you speak English in a way that feels real, calm, and human.
Hi, Sam. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. A little tired, actually, but good. You know those days where your body feels a little slow, but your mind is still busy? That kind of day. How about you?
I'm okay, too. A bit busy, a bit distracted, maybe, but I'm good. Actually, something happened today that fits this topic perfectly.
Oh, really? What happened?
I was talking to someone earlier today. Just a normal conversation, nothing serious. And then they asked me a very simple question. Not a difficult question, not a strange question, just the simple one. They said, "So, what have you been up to lately?" And for some reason, my brain just stopped.
Ah, yes, that exact moment. The question is easy, the answer is somewhere in your head, but it doesn't come out fast enough.
Exactly. And that awkward little second felt much longer than it really was. I could feel myself trying to begin, but nothing felt ready yet.
That happens to so many learners. And not only learners, honestly, even confident speakers sometimes need a second.
Yes, and the problem is not always English itself. Sometimes the problem is speed. The brain needs one moment and the mouth feels pressure immediately.
And that is exactly our topic today. How to buy time in English when you don't know what to say. Not fake English, not strange filler English, real spoken English, the kind that helps you stay in the conversation while your brain catches up.
And before we continue, if you enjoy these kinds of real-life English conversations, please like the video.
And subscribe to Speak English with Sam and Lily for more easy English podcast episodes.
And if you know someone learning English, share this episode with them too.
Okay, let's begin with something simple. Sometimes you only need 1 second, not a big pause, not a long explanation, just one little bridge.
Yes, and that is where tiny thinking phrases become really useful. Little phrases like, well, let me think. That's a good question. Actually, give me a second.
Those phrases do something very small but very powerful. They keep the conversation alive. They tell the other person, I heard you, I'm thinking, I'm still here.
Exactly. If someone asks, how was your weekend? And you need a second, you can say, let me think. And now you already sound more natural than silence.
Or if someone says, what do you think about that? You could say, that's a good question. And suddenly you have a little more time.
That is what I wish I had done earlier today. Instead of freezing, I could have said, oh, that's a good question. And then my answer would have had a place to arrive.
Yes, a bridge phrase gives your answer a place to land.
Let's imagine a few more normal questions. Someone asks, what do you usually do when you're stressed? You could begin with, let me think.
Or someone asks, what's your favorite way to relax? You could say, well, I guess I listen to a bit of everything, but mostly calm music.
That is the first big lesson today. Small filler phrases can save the moment.
Now, let's talk about something important. There's a difference between sounding natural and sounding panicked.
Yes, because buying time in English should sound calm, not frightened or desperate.
Sometimes when learners panic, they use too many sounds like and the sentence loses shape.
That happens because the person isn't buying time calmly. They're trying to survive the silence.
A calmer version sounds like, that's a good question. Let me think for a second. How can I say this? Now the time buying sounds intentional, not panicked.
I remember once someone asked me what kind of movies I like. Such a normal question, but my brain went blank because I suddenly forgot how to begin. And instead of helping myself, I said, and the whole moment felt worse.
Yes, and if you had said, let me think, you would have sounded much calmer immediately.
That is the second big lesson today. Buying time should sound steady, not scared.
Now let's talk about the pattern that makes this skill work best, a natural bridge pattern.
Yes, this is the heart of the episode.
A very natural way to buy time in English often sounds like this: react, buy time, begin answer.
Yes, first you react to the question, then you use a small bridge phrase, then you begin your real answer. That's what makes the whole thing sound smooth.
For example, if someone asks, "What do you usually do when you feel stressed?" You might say, "That's a good question. Let me think. I usually go for a walk."
Or if someone asks, "What kind of music do you like?" You could say, "Well, I guess I listen to a bit of everything, but mostly calm music."
Do you hear the shape of that? The answer does not crash into the silence. It arrives gently.
Exactly. You are giving your brain a bridge instead of forcing your answer to jump across empty space.
Let's try another one. I ask you, what's something you've been enjoying lately?
Let me think. Actually, I've been enjoying quieter evenings lately. Just simple things. Reading, tea, music.
Yes, that sounds so natural.
That is the third big lesson today. You do not need instant perfect English. You just need a bridge.
And this is a good place to say something important. You do not need perfect speed to speak English well. You do not need fast answers all the time. Even confident speakers buy time. Even native speakers buy time.
Yes, thinking for a second is normal. Buying time is normal. The goal is not zero silence. The goal is sounding calm while you think.
Now let's talk about one of the biggest real-life problems. What happens when you forget a word?
Yes, that is such a painful moment because sometimes you know the idea perfectly, but one important word disappears.
And many learners think that means the whole sentence must stop, but it doesn't.
This is where these phrases help a lot. How can I say this? What's the word? It's like, the thing is, I don't know the word, but...
For example, maybe you want to say portable charger, but you forget the word. You do not need to stop completely. You can say, I don't know the word, but it's the thing you use to charge your phone when you are outside.
That is powerful because the conversation keeps moving.
I remember once I forgot a word in the middle of a conversation, and instead of describing it, I just stopped. And afterward I thought, why did I stop? I still had the idea, I only lost one word.
Yes, forgetting one word does not mean you lost the whole thought.
That is another big lesson today. You can keep talking even when one word is missing.
Now let's make this even more practical, because buying time sounds a little different depending on the situation.
Yes, with friends you can sound more casual, in class maybe a little more careful, in an interview a little more polished, at work a little more steady.
With a friend, you might say, let me think. Well, I guess that's a good question.
In class you might say, that's an interesting question. Let me think for a moment. How can I explain this?
In an interview, you might say, that's a great question. Let me think for a second. I'd say...
At work, you might say, that's an interesting point. Let me think about that. My first thought is...
Same skill, slightly different clothing. The setting changes the tone a little.
Okay, now let's do the same kind of moment in two different ways. First, panic and awkward silence. Then, calm bridge English.
Let's do it.
A friend asks you an unexpected question. Question, so what have you been up to lately? Awkward version first.
Not much.
Yes, that feels exactly like panic. Now the natural version. So what have you been up to lately?
Let me think. Actually, I've been pretty busy lately. Mostly work and a few small personal things.
Much better. Now let's do an interview-style one. What is one of your strengths?
I don't know. Maybe...
Now the natural version. What is one of your strengths?
That's a good question. I'd say one of my strengths is staying calm under pressure.
Yes. Now the answer sounds thoughtful, not frightened.
So, what if we really learned today?
We learned that small filler phrases can save a conversation.
We learned that buying time should sound calm, not panicked.
We learned the natural pattern: react, buy time, begin answer.
We learned that forgetting one word does not mean the whole sentence has to stop.
We learned that the setting changes the phrase a little, but the skill stays the same.
And we learned that native speakers buy time too.
Yes, a quiet second does not mean failure. Thinking is not failure. Pausing is not failure. Sometimes speaking well in English is not about speed. Sometimes it's about staying calm while you build your answer.
You do not need perfect speed to speak English well. You just need calm, natural bridge English.
And now we want to hear from you.
Which bridge phrase from today do you want to use this week?
Or tell us what's harder for you, starting your answer or continuing when your mind goes blank.
We love reading your comments, and it's a great way to practice real English.
And if this episode helped you, share it with one friend today.
And don't forget to subscribe to Speak English with Sam and Lily if you're new here.
Thank you so much for listening today. We believe in you. Keep practicing. You can do this.
See you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.